Action Research Project by Lauren Williams. For my action research project, I want to explore the impact of handheld device content on primary students' academic learning and understanding, focusing on the students' exposure to handheld devices in their homes. My action research problem. Students of the 21st century are becoming more technology-based. Technology has increased in the classroom and in the school setting, as well as in the home environment. With this increase, many students are spending more time on handheld devices and less time reading books and participating in their homework or outside leisure activities. It is interesting to investigate further whether the content that they are participating in on handheld devices affects their academic achievement. Some children spend time on handheld devices watching educational videos or playing educational games, but some students play games and watch videos that are not relevant to learning. Having these two categories of content knowledge could affect their academic understanding. From personal experience, my goddaughter, who is 3 years old, spends all her time on a handheld device watching videos, but she's watching videos that have core knowledge that will help her when she enters kindergarten. So my research question: does the content that primary students participate in on handheld devices influence their academic understanding? Some research sub-questions. What content are children most frequently exposed to when on handheld devices at home? How are students' test scores impacted by the amount of handheld device screen time at home? Does watching educational videos and playing educational games benefit primary students' early learning? Are there learning opportunities in video games that are not designed for learning? Are and/or how are parents supervising the content that their children are engaged in on handheld devices? Are parents concerned about the amount of time their children spend on handheld devices at home? Some definitions and relevant terms. Academic understanding focuses primarily on whether or not the student has achieved an understanding based on academic content knowledge, relating ideas and using evidence, but is disciplined to a subject area that also requires specific skills and strategies to reach academic understanding. Content, the subject or topics covered in a book or a document. Handheld devices. A handheld is a portable device that can be carried around in the palm of one's hand and is portable enough to be held outside of a classroom environment. Assessment, the evaluation or estimation of the nature, quality, and ability of someone or something. Technology, the sum of the ways in which social groups provide themselves with the material objects of their civilization. Primary schools, a school usually including first 3 grades of elementary school, but sometimes also including kindergarten. This also goes from K to 6 and often goes up to the grade 8. Mobile learning, personal or public technology that can contribute to the process of gaining new knowledge, skills, and experience. Educational technology, technology that is used in the classroom to benefit students' learning. Annotated bibliography, source 1, educational technology and effective use. So this is a report that focuses on the effective source of technology in the classroom. This article states that there is more and more classrooms that are being equipped with technology to benefit the learning, such as cameras, interactive whiteboards, tablets, and laptops. This study looked primarily at primary students and some junior students to see whether or not they were benefiting from having technology in the classroom. When reviewing the pre- and post-assessments with the connection to technology, the results showed that there was a positive effect on students' learning outcomes when they were engaged in educational technology. Although many teachers feel apprehensive about having technology in their classroom, as they do not feel like they are equipped enough to participate in lessons that involve the technology. Students are more engaged in their learning, building relationships through collaboration, increased problem solving, allowed for differentiated instruction, promotes critical thinking and creativity, and they begin to reflect on their learning as well as keep as well as keeping them motivated in their learning. Annotated bibliography source number 2, learning at home. This research study focused primarily on the effects of handheld devices in the home. The survey focused on children aged 2 to 10 years old and focused on how their home use of handheld devices was connected to their learning. For the screened media for this research study, they used educational media, which focused on televisions, DVDs, video games, books, e-readers, smartphones, tablets, and other mobile devices. The study showed that students who used educational media for short periods of time did better in school than those who did not. Statistics from the study showed that 44% of children between the age of 2 and 10 years old used screen media for educational purposes, and that most parents believed that their children were learning from their use of the screened media while mostly engaging in educational screened media. Annotated bibliography source number 3, mobile learning. This article focuses on technology and mobile devices to enhance the learning for children, not only in the classroom, but in all environments of life. When they spoke about mobile learning, they talked about MP3 players, PDAs, tablets, and iPads. They believe that mobile learning is a design of technology for mobile learning to promote enriching conversations within and across context. They believe that mobile technology is used to not only deliver learning, but also to facilitate it. Mobile learning and the use of technology should be used to enhance activities across all learning objectives. This would connect it to cross-curricular activities, not only just language and math. Although they believe that mobile handheld devices are a big distraction for students, but if it is directly affected to a subject or a task, it has the opportunity to enhance the learning opportunities. Literature summary. In the 21st century classroom, screen media is incorporated into all. The most common screen media that has been implemented across the classroom is the use of smartboards or whiteboards. This allows teachers to plan lessons online with interactive games to keep students engaged. It is also allowing teachers to have a continuous visual representation of the content that they wish their children to participate in, and therefore they can be more independent in their learning. Another tool that is used in the classroom are iPads and Chromebooks. Chromebooks are a form of laptop that can be used for research, projects, representation of understanding, or collaborative work. iPads have become one of the most commonly used tools across all subject areas. iPads have been used for the same purpose as Chromebooks, but it allows for children to participate in interactive games. Teachers' perspectives. Teachers have identified the concern of their strength in the ability to implement technology into the classroom. Many teachers are apprehensive about the use of technology in their classroom because they feel they do not have enough prior knowledge to implement lessons using technology. The school system, as well as teachers, are responsible for educating themselves on the new knowledge of the 21st century classroom and how to properly integrate technology into their classroom. Technology and academics. Many articles have shown that there is an increase in academic knowledge with the students who participate in screened media for educational purposes. They believe that students who participate in short periods of screen time content that is educational are able to stay focused and engaged in the content and therefore more likely to achieve higher success in their learning. iPads and students with special needs. iPads have been incorporated into classrooms as a self-regulation break tool for some students, more so students who have been identified. An iPad is a great tool for students with behavioral needs as well as students who have been identified with exceptionalities. They believe that iPads enhance and support students in fundamental domains in many academic areas. Some of the areas are scheduling, motivating systems, academic skills, communication, video modeling, data collection, as well as leisure activities. Parents and screen time involvement. Studies show that parents who allow their children to participate in screen media often monitor the content. Most parents allot a specific duration of time for learning with handheld devices. Parents often feel that they use screen media for educational purposes affects their child's academic learning in a positive way, and therefore they encourage it. Some articles have stated that parents do not monitor the content that children are participating in, and therefore we are looking to see if there is a correlation between that content and their academic understanding. Action plan for research problem. My data source. So for this research study, I would use assessment, test scores, self-reporting notes, and a survey for the parents. The assessment and observations will be conducted of the children during the learning process. This will allow the researcher an unbiased information of the candidates involved in the study. Test scores are crucial in this research study as we will compare the effects of their handheld device amounts of time and whether or not it affects their learning. The test scores, we can identify the students who are high or low academically. Self-reporting is the students will participate in a conversation about how much time they feel they spend on handheld devices and the content they participate in. They will also disclose how they feel about themselves as a student. The survey will be conducted by the parents and will get the parents' perspective on whether or not they monitor the content, monitor the amount of time, and how they feel the handheld devices affect their students or their child's learning. The triangulation. So the parents' perspective, test score, and student conversation. All of these are essential in our research study as they pinpoint each aspect of the research study. It is important to get the parents' perspectives to see whether or not they are monitoring, as well as actually getting the test scores of the students to compare it to the observations and the survey answers from the parents. The validity. Having an unbiased test score from the school is important. Having test scores that were completed prior to the data will show their students' success and will show whether or not their student is high or low. Parents will have the opportunity to complete the survey online, which will allow them to have multiple languages for clarification. A letter of understanding will be given to all participants to ensure that they have an understanding that the surveys that they are completing will be compared to the test scores of their children. The participants in this study would be the students, the parents, and the teachers. The setting will take place whether in the classroom or at home. Ethical conditions. This survey will respect all the privacy of the participants. No real names will be used and all abbreviations will be stated. And any data that is collected will be stored in a locked container with no access to anybody but the research team. The timeline consists of the beginning of the school year to begin the test score gathering, which will allow the students to settle into the school program and become familiar with how the classroom runs. Parent surveys will be ongoing, and then once we have the parent survey completed, the analyzation between the test scores and the parent conferences will be compared, as well as through the student conferences and the teacher conferences. In conclusion, I feel the research study will find a positive correlation between the content participated in on handheld devices and their academic scores. I believe that students who participate in educational videos and games on handheld devices at school and at home will have a higher test score than those students who do not. This research study will help me in my future as a teacher because I will ensure that when I am engaging my students in handheld devices, I will provide them the opportunity to engage in new activities that will enhance their learning opportunities so that when they are at home, they are also able to engage in those types of activities. Thank you. That's Lauren Williams.